Is a secret society teaching somebody to do better sci-fi or just make Hollywood movies more interesting? We're going to dissect Assassin's Creed, the late 2016 hit, question mark? That was an attempt at a video game, you know, because you hit people with the button. Just start the show. Start the show.
Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Sci-Fi Weekly.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sci-Fi Weekly, the show where we get into everything in science fiction, movies, TV, books, video games, but mostly just movies, because this is the Popcorn Talk, and I'm your host, Zach Wilson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @ThatZachWilson. As I said, we're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed and also a bunch of news today. Let me first, before we jump into that, introduce you to my guest today. We have Connor Hurley.
Thanks for having me in the studio, boys.
Yeah, he's a good friend of the show, me and Jesse. Jesse Klein, sick with an alien disease,
Boo.
I believe, called the common cold. But Connor, I've told that you can channel Jesse. Maybe bring him into the studio.
All right, let's try this out. Yeah, guys, it's me, Jesse Klein. No, what are you? No, what? No. Okay. So Knife Guy is good at knives, and that's all Knife Guy's good at. And then he dies, and he's holding a knife, so he's Knife Guy. That's
all right. I'm gonna toss to Jesse occasionally throughout this show to get his opinion. All right. Before we jump into our main topic, let's get things started with the news at ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed, go!
While doing some press for the upcoming show Colony, Carlton Cuse actually left the door open for more Lost content, saying, "I do believe at some future point someone else will do something in the Lost world, and that's okay. Maybe Damon Chisel will do a Lost musical. I don't know. He's free to do it." While I would definitely watch the Lost musical, Mr. Cuse, I'm just gonna have my my available for work hand raised until you find me. This is tiring. I'm gonna put it down. Ryan Johnson explained this week why episode 8 will start immediately after episode 7. He says, "I don't want to skip ahead 2 years. I want to see the very next moment of what happens." And we agree. We want to see the very next moment of what happens. We would like it to skip to a year from now. Right now! I can't wait anymore! This has been killing me! Tim Kring's Beyond was picked up for season 2 very quickly after Freeform debuted all its episodes on Hulu. So Connor, would you say that it was beyond their expectations?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, great addition.
It was, yeah. Chris Hemsworth was speaking to the press this week, and he said that he has spoken to J.J. Abrams recently about Star Trek IV, the sequel to last summer's Star Trek Beyond. And he says, "I've spoken to J.J. Abrams, and he has an amazing pitch on the whole thing." Chris Hemsworth, if you don't remember, played James Kirk's father in the 2009 reboot of Star Trek. So that means that it's gonna be time travel in some way, just like Star Trek 4 of the first set of Star Treks.
Yeah.
In which they time traveled to 20th century San Francisco.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah. All I can say is this Star Trek 4 had better have even more space whales.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh gosh, that film.
Yeah, space whales.
Oh, boy.
I want more of them. You did con again. I'm happy to be lied to, J.J. Abrams, just to be like, no, there's no space whales in this movie, and there's totally space whales in this movie. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that happening this time around. J.J. Abrams actually said he's done with remakes.
Forever?
He's like, I don't want to do any more remakes. I'm swearing off of it.
Whoa.
Says the guy behind, let's see, Star Wars, Star Trek, Westworld, he just did.
Does he want to make
I'll believe it when I see it, JJ. The third Cloverfield movie that he's working on. We got the first preview this week for Hulu's new series, The Handmaid's Tale, which is a speculative fiction movie in a dystopian future. It's a society where women have been stripped of all of their rights. It's not pointed at all this week. It's a series about women whose only purpose is to give birth. Is definitely not culturally relevant while women's healthcare is under extreme attack.
Oh, yeah.
And being stripped from everyone who needs their healthcare. Not important at all. I'm actually looking forward to this.
Yeah.
It's got a ridiculous cast, including
Lizzie Moss.
From Mad Men. It's got Alexis
Great.
Bledel
Yeah.
Of Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
This promises to be less horrifying for Gilmore Girls fans than. No, I'm sorry. Joseph Fiennes is in it, and Yvonne Strahovski.
Oh, really?
Big cast. The bunch of others news. There was a bunch of other trailers that came out this week. Peter Dinklage is going to be up for Infinity War, if according to a rumor. Everyone is chiming in that he's going to be MODOK, the giant head that floats around with tiny little arms. Feels vaguely offensive.
Super on the nose, too.
Yeah. Although I'll watch Peter Dinklage in anything.
Yeah.
For the record. All right, let's slow it down to regular speed. To talk about another trailer that came out. There's a whole bunch of other news, look, you can check out all the Marvel news. Tune into Marvel Movie News on Tuesdays for more Star Wars news. Check out Jedi Alliance tonight at 7 p.m. For more DC movie news, because Batman's maybe delayed. I don't know. I can't keep track. I'll see it when it comes out. Batman. Check out DC movie news on Thursdays. Anyway, I want to talk about this new trailer that Netflix dropped because Netflix they've done a lot of really interesting science fiction shows recently. Oh, yeah. Did you watch Stranger Things?
Yeah, America loves it.
Yeah, America does love it, or at least the internet of America does.
Yeah.
And they dropped the OA recently.
Yeah, they did.
But they've also been quietly doing a lot of original movies. And they never announce them ahead of time. It's just 2 weeks before. They're like, here's a trailer. You didn't know this was coming, but here you go. And the latest one is, it looks really interesting. It has an unfortunate title.
Oh, yes, it does.
iBoy. But don't let that color it for you. Check out this trailer. Let's all watch together for the upcoming film iBoy.
And with no end in sight to this wave of crime.
Everyone knows you fancy Lucy since forever.
Maisie
Come
Williams.
by later, yeah?
Sure.
I'm still not comfortable with her in normal clothes. Like Game of Thrones. So this is the inciting incident of the movie.
Plot point 1.
Those were digital effects in his brain.
Fragments here and here miss the temporal lobe.
Will there be side effects?
If anything unusual happens, I want you to let me know straight away.
Now some boys staring at me.
You can hear everything that's sent through a cell phone. It's cool visual effects. It's very simplistic. This has sort of a...
Never been the victim.
It's only moderately into the future, but it does have a little bit of a cyberpunk.
The cyberpunky,
vibe.
yeah.
Not extreme, not like Blade Runner levels.
No, but the hoodlums are wearing handkerchiefs and they look.
I heard there was some sort of vigilante or something. He's trying to take on the gangs.
He's a superhero.
Got ya.
You don't call the devil, then get upset when
See,
he turns
he's
up.
great.
Where? Oh, where?
Penny Dreadful Man, he's
I'm
fantastic.
gonna burn your walls down.
I won't get away with it.
You fucked up.
And then iBoy.
Yeah.
A special kid.
I want to sort of drop the title from what I think, because So Connor, what did you think of the trailer?
It looks fun. It looks cool. I think it's weird that it's a boy who gets superpowers from being shot in the head. That's a little silly, but it's really bumming me that it's called iBoy. Ooh, that's such a first draft title. Oh, come on, guys. Oh.
It's sort of like it just like has that like silliness of like a sketch.
Yeah, it's.
But like if you take the title aside, I think this looks really interesting. Like the premise is silly, the title is silly, but like so it's because it's literally a kid who gets smartphone superpowers.
He's called iBoy. I hope they never say it aloud in the film.
Oh my god! If he has like a Superman chest, it's just an eye.
Like that's the last scene of him opening his shirt, and it's just gross. No, it looks fun. I mean, she's great. I love her and everything. At least the one show she does, she's pretty good in.
Maisie Williams. Yeah. I mean, she's fantastic in Game of Thrones. She was great on Doctor Who last season.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
So she's definitely digging herself into this like sci-fi fantasy world as an actor, even deeper. I think she's gonna be great. I'll watch whatever she's in, which is part of what it like caught my attention in the slew of other things. Because Netflix is also announcing like they have other shows coming soon. Like there's this or other movies. There's something called a Mute coming, or just Mute. From the guy that the guy who directed Warcraft and Moon.
Okay.
Is doing an original for
David
Netflix.
Bowie's son. Isn't that the guy who directed Moon? Is David Bowie's kid?
If it was, that is news to me. It's his
That's correct.
Duncan
That's
Jones.
absolutely correct. Yeah.
Is it? It's Duncan Jones?
Same guy who directed Warcraft.
Yeah. I did not know Duncan Jones was David Bowie's kid. Thank you, computer.
You're welcome, Zach.
Wow. That blew my mind just a little bit. And that one's going to star Alexander Skarsgård and
he's great.
Also Paul Rudd.
Wow.
And Justin Theroux.
Tarzan and Ant-Man themselves.
And the guy who's really messed up in The Leftovers.
But still like has an amazing physical fitness routine. He's going through a lot, but he does 100 push-ups a day still.
How do you get through that? Anyway, I'm intrigued by this trailer. I think it has a lot of interesting stuff that it could potentially say about the way we interact with smartphones.
I'm sure
I think it comes out in 2 weeks on Friday, I think the 27th. And I believe we will be reviewing it. We'll either do it on January 29th or the week after on the 5th, depending on how soon we feel like
it looks like
talking
a
about
fun flick.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch it. Yeah. It looks
Check
fun.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, you guys have access. Don't pretend you don't. All right, let's jump to some sci-fi in real life very quickly. We've gone through a lot of AI stories on this show. This one is next level, like in terms of sci-fi just coming into reality. So Google has a very sophisticated translator software. Have you ever used it? Like,
it's fun. You hold, and you could do it with the camera, even hold it up to the signs, make it change. It's very fast too.
Yeah, it's incredibly fast, but they wanted it to be even better, like between because they're like they wanted to be able to go between all different languages and all this stuff.
No bounds.
Like I just use it when I'm watching TV and somebody says something in Spanish, and I'm just like, I only understood one of those words, and it was yo. But this week, like Google announced that that their translation tool has taken it up to another level because they put in some new software to sort of help it like figure like a way between different languages and all this stuff. And it took those directions to like find ways to do that. And it didn't just move faster or like create shortcuts. The AI software actually created its own internal language on it. Like it wasn't directed to do this. The Google software basically created its own language that is an intermediary between all the different languages that it has to translate so that it can do it even faster. Again, Google's software text did not tell it to do this.
Do the techs understand the language?
Yes, it like there was like
gosh.
somebody I think it was TechCrunch put up a visualization in an attempt to like sort of help
Yeah.
show what it was, and it was more, it wasn't like listed out in like language the way we see it, like laterally. It was at least the way that they visualized it was more like dots in a pattern that when you combine them for different languages, like okay, Japanese represents this, Korean represents this, and then English is over here, and it combines them to show itself one phrase that it can then smoothly translate between different things. Because it uses a phrase system so that it's not just dumbly translating words. It's actually trying anticipate. But this is its attempt to learn and be able to grow and do better over time. And it just created its own language. Like, the philosophical implications of the fact that an AI created
A way to talk to itself.
just created something. Like, does that mean that the AI that is running Google's translator software created this? Like yes, this is not. We're not saying
No,
we're
it's
not
something
saying
so-
that this is an intelligent like thing yet. But
No, you can argue that one of the base building blocks of any society or culture in general is language. So that's a humongous step for these little computer guys. Good on them.
this AI just created a language. Like that. You're right. That is
Yeah.
one of the things
Like
that
that.
defines a civilization.
Yeah, and they already wrote it down. So they're thousands of years ahead of us already.
Oh, it's so scary. But Google has decided to call it interlingua.
All right, Google.
Yeah. It works. It's fine. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this. Like, they've created this neural, like, network thing inside an AI, and now it is, like, what does it want to create next?
Oh, jeez.
It's created language. What if it wants to get into comedy? We don't know.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Oh.
See, but if Hal was telling jokes, I'd probably laugh. I'd be like, "Jeez, Louise, that's spooky. This is a weird Act 1 we're finding ourselves in before."
This is how it all begins. Or it like is this the other side of it? Is this the beginning of? Does this language get written down in some form, and it becomes the like in sci-fi you always hear about people speaking common.
Yeah.
It's usually a form of English, just because English is the most spoken across the globe.
Yeah.
Or at least it's accepted as the global language. Even I think Chinese is like
Mandarin's
edging it
slightly
out.
more, but yeah.
But like it's used, but like English is used by pilots.
Yes,
because
you're
like
right.
no matter where you're landing in the world, you have to be able to speak English because it is the language used no matter where you're landing.
Oh, but maybe in 40 years, this language
Like, what if this becomes common in some way?
Because it is technically the base of every language.
Yeah,
like it's the fairest
I don't know.
of the bunch.
Like, it sounds crazy now, but we'll see in 20 years.
Wow. Yeah. So it's like the hexapod language, but
Yeah.
intelligence. Oh gosh, that's oh boy.
Oh man. Yeah. Be afraid. With that, let's get into our main topic. And in order to do this, speaking of AIs coming to life, I've decided to go all Geppetto and turn our computer into a real boy.
I'm a real boy.
So the Mark 1 is now Mark Donica. Hey, Mark.
Hi, everybody.
How's it going?
Hey, Mark.
Glad to be a part of the show.
Yeah, Mark, for those of you who don't know, he hosts Jedi Alliance and Video Game Movie Anatomy here at the Popcorn Talk, so I thought it would be perfect to get his opinion on what I'm just going to throw this out there at the top. One of the best video game adaptation movies I think I've ever seen, if not the best.
Genuinely surprised. I came in with rock bottom expectations and was delighted because exactly what you said. Exactly what you said.
So you went in thinking it was going to be bad.
I saw 0 trailers for this film. I saw absolutely nothing. And it was really, really smart how they did a lot of the stuff. Like, it was very creative how they did enough references, but also didn't explain the references overly. Like, they didn't say, eagle eye all the time. Like, they said, like, leap of faith one time.
That was the fun. That was... It did... They said it, and it was, I almost, when they expected in that moment, a little icon to appear in the corner of the screen and just go, achievement unlocked. Mark, what did you think of, just quick reactions, what did you think of Assassin's Creed?
I love this movie. This was one of my favorite movies that I saw last year, and I've been saying this to people, and they're like, "What? How dare you?" But I had more of a genuinely positive reaction coming out of this movie than I did Rogue One.
Woo.
I think that's like, look, it is a certain sense of like there's an expectations level that goes into it, but as like a standalone movie, I can't disagree, because I had like Rogue One, I left with like I enjoyed a lot of that, but there's some things I didn't like. But like this movie, I just went out like that wasn't my first thought after I saw it was like that wasn't necessarily like a great movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed every part of it. It wasn't like I liked part of it and then like that part I didn't like. It was just like I enjoyed myself the whole way through.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I was very surprised how much fun I was having watching
Fun,
that
I
film.
think, is the key word to take away from this. This movie had one of my favorite action sequences all year. The escape sequence from the attempted hanging, or the attempted burning, excuse me. There was just so much fun to be had, and I've been encouraging as many people as possible. Even you, Zach, you were like, I kind of want to do the show about this first. So I was like, no, do Assassin's Creed before it's out of theaters, because Passengers, who gives a crap? Do Assassin's Creed, and here we are.
We talked about Passengers last week.
Listeners, please listen.
But yeah, so let's put up a spoiler wall just from here on out. Either don't listen if you haven't seen it, or pause it, go watch the movie, come back, because it is leaving theaters pretty quickly. Like, there were only 3 theaters like within that were nearby me, and we live in Hollywood.
Yeah,
that were showing it.
I had to watch it at the TCL. And that was the first time I've ever been there. And I have reviews for that place. But yeah, I could not find the theaters I like were not showing it anymore.
Yeah,
we went on opening day and had trouble finding theaters. That was the problem with it opening up a week after Rogue One.
Oh,
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
It's tough to follow any Star Wars movie. But the theater that I saw it in, which is at like 10:30 at night, was almost full.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
So the word is getting out there some way. But yeah, so spoilers for the movie. I want to start off just like talk about Cal Lynch.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender's
the main character.
This just like as a character, I thought it was an interesting way to go. Like, so I never played the first game. Connor, did you?
I did. It's set in the Crusades with Altair as your protagonist, and it was fun. It's a game that really got me in game 2. Game 2 was really
is it
good.
Cal Lynch? Do they like get into like really who you are?
No, it wasn't Cal Lynch at all. It was Desmond Miles throughout the whole game.
Oh, is that who it is?
Yeah. The person who you play as in the present day was named Desmond Miles, and it was the back and forth between past and present and past and present. But no, I believe it's an original character.
It's an original character.
Yeah.
Got it. I only played, I think, Assassin's Creed 3.
Okay.
Because for some reason, the idea of a Revolutionary War video game was just like, I need to try that.
Yeah. That was,
So for me, this was like I got all the gameplay jokes, but the story I got dropped in the middle of it. No. So this was like somewhat new to me, and that's what I found was so much fun. So this character they created I thought it was a good way in.
I liked it a lot. It's kind of not predictable in a bad way, but the best way. Like, yeah, he's very reluctant and he's a cool rebel kid, and the first scene we're introduced to him, I got a big laugh out of, which is he's a kid, like he's 8 or 9 years old, and he rides a bike off a roof onto another roof and just falls hard onto a pile of mattresses. And that's how we introduced the character. I liked him a lot. It was cool. Michael Fassbender, still good at acting. I'll say it.
Michael Fassbender, this movie, I think, proves to me more than almost any other role that he's had. Not that this is his best performance or anything, but like, this is like, Michael Fassbender is one of the best actors.
It proves his like versatility.
Because there's a versatility, but also his ability to just bring such bad dialogue and make it into something good. Like, that's the mark of a good actor. Because like there is I think one of the best like standout moments was like when he just goes, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
That was a great moment from him.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real cool character, and yeah, the spoiler alert is up because there's such the cool intro of him is he's getting killed. Like, he's getting killed by the state. He's at a lethal injection chair.
Yeah.
And the cool, like, what we all want out of a cool character is, hey, Death, I see you. Here's me spitting in your face. And it's like, whoa, the ultimate badass. But you show just enough humanity in that when the fluids start going in him, he's scared. He's not ready to die, and he's terrified to die. And that shows us that, oh, even this cool, badass guy is just still trying to figure out what life is and doesn't want out yet. And that was just, that was a really smart move for them to do. And I really enjoyed that choice.
Yeah.
Thoroughly.
It definitely got us into the character right away.
Oh, right away. I think we open on Michael Fassbender in prison, like, as not a kid. And he's just already in prison. And we learn later that it's because he murdered someone. He just capital murder. He's being put to death for capital murder.
Did we ever establish who he killed? No, right?
He said a pimp. It was so we know. So it wasn't like we were led to assume that it's not a personal thing, but it's like, oh, maybe you're a good guy, kind of.
Like he was protecting somebody.
Maybe. I think that's what it's alluded to.
So then we get into let's talk about the Templars and the Assassins, like two sides in the secret society war.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of secret societies. It's such
great.
Just a guttural, just like dumb conspiracy theory.
Like Masonic lodges. Gosh.
Because every time they establish it, like they did it in Secret Service or Kingsman.
The
Secret Service. Like, I love that idea. Like, it just makes it like, what if it's real?
Yeah.
What if everything? Like they established the Templars, which was a real, at least, group.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're trying to control humanity, and they're like, we tried it through religion.
Yeah.
We tried it through I forget what the middle one was.
He said, like, he's tried it through religion. We tried it through, and most lately, consumerism.
Yeah, that was the one that stood out to me. Was consumer. There's something else, but like, yeah, the idea that like we all care about stuff so much because of the Templars.
Yeah, it is such a exciting thing of saying like, hey, you know who the world's problems are? These guys. It's like, oh yeah, F you guys stink. It's cool putting a name to the face of absolute evil, which is and that's why there's like, oh yeah, fascism's still bad, and it's pretty easy to represent the bad guys because they're wearing robes. Come on.
I mean, in fairness, so are the good guys.
That's a great point.
Like, they're both like, I thought it was funny when the Templars came out like towards the end. They all had like their hoods on and stuff. Like, I feel like you're just stealing from your rivals.
Like,
now.
There's no smart original fashion choices being made on either sides of the coin.
Yeah. Well, no, but the Assassins, they have got the pointed hoodie.
That pointed hood.
That has been marketed so hard.
Yeah.
For sale. And I'm not gonna lie, I totally want one.
Dude, I'm just waiting for all of the Hot Topics to put them on sale, and I'm getting every single one.
Oh man, I almost bought. There was one that had like leather straps or something at Comic-Con last year, and I was so close to just like spending $80 on a sweatshirt.
I will say, for any Assassin's Creed fans out there, and to you gentlemen, the Ubisoft has an official store where they sell awesome just zip hoodies in the style of different Assassins.
Oh, that's pretty fun.
They're really comfortable. I have one.
Why did you do that? My wallet can't take it. Yeah, I'm gonna go on there after the show. But so they do go to the same thing, like the Apple of Eden.
Yeah.
And I love what they made this.
Yeah.
In the lore that we're dealing with here, the idea that it might have been God or an ancient civilization, but whatever this thing is, it has the key to free will.
Yeah, whatever it is, whether it is the descendants, and that's the fun trope of like, oh, the Sphinx is actually older than we think, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool idea to explore.
And this is where this movie gets really into science fiction. Like Assassin's Creed, like you didn't think like, oh, that's going to be a big sci-fi movie, but it deals with such high sci-fi concepts that's part of why I loved this movie. Was that like schlocky like plot lines and like aside, this like the questions that it makes you ask are fascinating. Because what you have to like think about, like what they imply when they're like that it is that old, that it was either a god or an ancient civilization. It's this little apple, the ball. It's basically the monolith. From 2001. Like somebody found it, touched it, and then it gave our ancestors free will. It activated that genome in our bodies that allows us to think freely like that.
Yeah, and it's not like they have it displayed on a screen where they have to explain to a character and the audience what it does. They really leave it up to us, which is just it's power, but it could be anything. It's really fun. It was the monolith in handheld form. It was really fun.
But the idea that like, what if you found the monolith, it would also give you the ability to control others. That you could turn off that switch.
Yeah, that absolute power does indeed.
Yeah, and this is where it gets into some deep philosophy of like, what do you choose? And I'm curious to get your guys' opinions. And chat, feel free to join in on this part of the conversation, especially. I'm going to toss it to the computer first, to Mark. If you could turn off free will, but end violence, like have a truly peaceful society, but people would lose a piece of their free will, like, would you pull the trigger?
If I'm speaking as the computer, I would say yes, I would do it in a heartbeat. But if I was speaking as myself, I would say no, because like free will as well as violence comes as a part of that, and you can use it as a teaching tool. If you could say, hey, I'm going to turn this off, see how you feel, and turn it back on, and say, you don't want to do that again, do you? Like a bad father sort of a thing, letting their kid put a fork in the electrical socket, go, you're not going to do that again, are you? Sort of a thing. But I ultimately I would not.
Yeah, Connor.
Are
you a bad person or not? That's basically what I'm asking here.
Thanks for the loaded question.
You can't justifiably stand up and say, "Here's my good reasons for killing this concept known as free will." That's insane. No, I can't argue for any things, but no, I don't think I'd pull it at all.
Yeah, but it does raise it. Like, I'd be curious to see like what the Templars' like plan was. Like, was it that you could like just turn down? Like, was it like Westworld where everybody has like a bar of like different like things, and you could like just turn down aggression. And just turning down aggression makes everyone calmer. Like, that actually sounds like it's kind of reasonable. Like, it's not gonna like making people less aggressive just in general. That doesn't sound so bad. But then it becomes slippery slope. Well, we also want to make sure that they're agreeable and that they're like, and then it's opinions about like what's good, what's bad, and like. But like as like humanity, like could you but you get into like the slippery slope questions, like what if over a period of the next like 500 years, through some form of natural selection that wasn't like necessarily tampering, but you were going to slowly evolve humans to be less violent? Like, what if it wasn't a switch, but what if it was like a slow process that was like selective, and like we do with dog breeding?
Yeah, like introduced the gene and then it's slowly built over time.
Yeah. Because again, that doesn't sound so evil.
No, but it sounds like medicine. Like
and that, I think, like that's the difference. Is like it's like some of the people involved saw it that way, but then the elders and the dad in this, like they don't see it that way. They see it as like a way to control the world and exercise absolute power. And it really is like it's that far. So like Sophia, for instance.
Yes.
I think she like really thought she was going to make the world a better place.
Yeah, and that's always so fun when the bad guys don't know they're bad, or she knows that there's some issues going on with her organization, but it's still that but you have such a great little marketing tool. And this is going to be a poor analogy, but like the United States, and it's like, oh, doesn't it sound cool? It's like, yeah, it does, man. Some things are bad though, and some things aren't great, and you can have that little philosophical debate in your head. And the cool part about the movie is, I don't think they ever answered it. They didn't say what was right or wrong. They just said like, no, one or a group shouldn't have that power and not wield it over someone. And I was just excited watching this whole film. And we're not even talking about those fun knife throwing scenes.
Yeah. Before we get deeper into the science and stuff here, the action sequences in this movie were crazy.
Oh yeah, that what was previously mentioned of that escape scene was just edge of seat for like 12 solid minutes of just bump, 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 bump.
Oh yeah. Although, was I the only person like when it started and they have like Takamata walking out, and was I the only one like, hey Takamata, what do you say? Got a new game that you might want to play. Like I'm picturing Mel Brooks. Like that's all. I mean, I can't think about Takamata without picturing History of the World Part 1. I'm sorry.
Speaking of the action sequences, Connor, both of you, since you're both played the game in some regard, Connor, I know you a little bit more than Zach. How did you feel about the Animus? Because the Animus in the games is a chair.
Yes.
And the Animus in the movies is a full body
full
experience, Kuka arm sort of thing.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wrote down in the movie of what a smart choice. Because you know what's really boring? Seeing Michael Fassbender asleep on a chair. And the chair could be silver, but it's still a chair. And it would look so boring. That was one of my favorite decisions made about the entire film. Because that was super smart. And I was a little like, oh, that's not it. But then realized immediately if I was watching someone in a chair, that would suck.
I thought this was it was a fascinating piece of tech to get to introduce, because we're sort of dealing with like Matrix type things here. So he's still if the body thinks it's running, to give him the ability to run like that.
Yeah, you make the body run.
Yeah, it makes it real in a way, and it sort of helps with why it's so immersive to the point where these people don't know, have all the assassins' descendants that are in that facility think that they are the people that they've been, because the lines are so blurred. Their body has the muscle memory of doing those things, not just seeing it, but doing it.
Yeah, and then I think that it's a concept from the video game, which they say it in the movie. It's called the bleeding effect, and that's what they use as a plot point, but also lines become blurred, and you learn all these skills and attributes, and you're able to see beyond things and become.
I know kung fu. I wanted him to say it,
but I really the part I didn't like the Animus for 1 second, and then immediately liked it when he was physically thrown into the world. And then you saw that eagle happen, because the arm goes up and just goes down, and it's like falling action, just whoa, and there it is. There you're in it.
What did you guys think of the eagle as a way in? It works in a video game.
Yeah, it is.
Did it work for you guys in the movie?
I think it worked for the intro shot, like when we were first establishing this world, because the eagle is such a major part of the Assassin's Creed franchise. But I think we got a little bit too much overkill on the eagle.
Yeah,
a couple too many eagles.
We did it they did it 4 times. It was a tad much. I think the twice would have been enough. But there was a lot of points in that movie where I was just thinking, oh yeah, press X, air assassinate all the time. Was thinking that all the time, because even in the first scene when oh gosh, what was his name? The Spaniard.
Aguilar?
Aguilar does the classic video game kill. He just jumps down and stabs them right there.
Yeah, that was a video game moment where I was like, how does nobody seeing him? And then I went, well, how does nobody see you in the game? Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I liked watching the sequences of the anime, especially when they the projectors were, I guess, so everybody could see it.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I think they didn't quite establish smoothly enough. Was like I was confused for a moment. Like,
oh, if they could see the projection,
that they could see it for part of the time, it threw me off because I was like, oh no, that's all in his head.
Yeah,
I
it's just
assumed
the
it was like all
chemicals, yeah.
just only he could see it, but they could see it too.
Yeah. Yeah, that part was a little fuzzy, but I think generally I really liked the arm decision. That was probably like my favorite decision the movie made. Or I don't know, he had a couple refusal of the calls, which were great. And then when the assassins in Abstergo were saying like, you're killing the Creed, he turns to some of them and says, good, or like, yeah, I have no idea what your creed is and I don't care about it at all. I'm going to destroy it because I have no one but I know no assassins but my dad, who I hate because, quite frankly, he killed my mom and I saw him do it, and that's great motivation. I understand where this character's coming from a lot. He saw his dad kill his mom when he was like 8. That's enough. You explained this character really well to me. I understand everything he's doing.
Yeah, I didn't need, like, it's been an issue in some other, like, we talked about Rogue One at the top, but that was one of the things that this movie did well, that Rogue One, that was one of the flaws with Rogue One, is that, like, because we do it, it's sort of a similar beginning for the characters, not that they're the same in many ways, but we meet them both, at least we meet them both as kids, and we meet them both as adults in jail.
Yeah.
That's the first place we see them. But because we saw that little, and they both are like seeing parents getting, like,
it's a great motivator,
killed like in front of them.
Yeah.
And this is for the first 5 minutes of Rogue One, so it's not a spoiler. But the way that they use that to like show his, like, what it's done to his life, like showing the consequences that he's going to be put to death, like that there are like real, like, this brought him down a path where he like went really dark.
Oh yeah.
Now we know who he is, and then so when he is struggling with the animus and when he's changing because of what he sees, we connect to his character.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. There were some. This isn't to say this movie's without flaws, but there were some parts where I thought, oh, this is a rewrite issue of just his dad. How easily he was introduced and tied off was just kind of silly. How it was what's his name? Mr. Gleason, Dom Hale's dad.
The actor? Brendan Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson. He's introduced, and then his next scene is him fighting and dying, sort of. And I thought that was just a little, all right, well, let's tie this off before we have to go into the whole fight.
He's like an old blind man. Like they captioned him there.
Oh yeah, no, it was just a little quick. A thing I really liked about this movie is that they didn't set up the heist, and it wasn't a heist, but they didn't set up the murder, because they could have gone really boring and Ocean's 11-y about it and been like, then you hand me this thing, and then I hand me this thing, and that makes a knife. Nope. We start off, our main focus is the bad guys. We're just watching it happen. Then we see it happening in the background, and that was super fun to watch. Super fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go back and talk about like the chase sequence a little more. Just like, because one of the things that I thought that was most impressive about it was that it felt like a video game, but not in a bad way. Like, there was a couple times where I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, the fact that they're, like, running across the rooftops, and then there's just, like, 4 guards.
Yeah.
Like, on the rooftops. Why were they guarding the rooftops?
And there was that scene where he bounces an arrow off the wall into someone's neck.
Coolest.
It was so fun. And, because the guards they keep coming.
Yeah.
And I get that there was, like, a big demonstration and stuff, but, like, they're endless.
Yeah, well, it's cool because it feels like a video game, not in a bad way. And playing those games, all you do is run, and the screen blurs behind you because you're running so fast. And you couldn't breathe during those, 12, 11 minutes of that chase scene because it was so pumping. The camera never stood still, ever, the entire time. And it was crazy. You didn't see these guards' faces, and they were just blurred, but you knew who your protagonists were. They're wearing 2 hoods, and they're just killing everyone. At least 50 people died in that chase.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the day, it was fun, and then it had those sci-fi moments that we were talking about that really made it sing. Like that's the thing. Like having a schlocky Hollywood movie with crazy action sequences and throwing heavy sci-fi concept to it is, I think, one of the ways to make a great movie. It's one of the reasons that Will Smith's iRobot is still at like on one of in my like top 20 list like of all time because it can fit those like you can do both. You can. And I think people stray away from that sometimes. Like, you can do a Hollywood blockbuster with heavy elements to it. People will get behind that.
Well, this movie was so fun to me. And when I say this, it wasn't bad. The plot was incredibly predictable. I knew every moment that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you go back and then you explore the real life repercussions. Then you go back and it's action, you explore the real life repercussions. It's just transferring of worlds and going back and I like how there wasn't any big twists. Like the big twist in the video game is like, oh no, they're secretly the bad guy. But most people walking into it already know that. So they didn't make it a twist. Second time we see Jeremy Irons, he's already standing in front of a big Templar logo. And we're like, okay, answered.
Oh,
Great.
yeah, they could have tried to hide that. And like there's something to be said about the general public's knowledge versus the fans' knowledge. And like playing towards the general public over the fan. But why bother? Like that with something like that, I think we would always suspect that they were
and
the Templars, like once we got in there.
Yeah, because the source material is a video game, and
one of the best-selling video game
series
franchises of all time.
Oh, it is a big brand, a humongous brand that makes a lot of money still.
Yeah,
Ubisoft's very happy with their decision to do this game. But yeah, it was just again, I keep saying because it was said earlier, it was fun. I saw it last night. I was having so much fun watching this film. And we didn't talk about my favorite scene. The arrow bouncing was cool, but my favorite action moment was definitely jumping off into the water and throwing the knife down to break the water surface and then diving into it.
That was pretty metal.
That was great. That was so cool.
Physics, man.
Physics. Man.
Yeah, I mean it's those little details, and I like that. Like with the falling, like they at least had somebody fall into a hay bale.
Yeah.
It was a bad guy, but like they had it.
They winked. That was fun.
They had enough of those winks that it was fun. Well, we got before we wrap up, we got to ask ourselves a question because we always do. With any sci-fi movie, what would Neil deGrasse Tyson say about this movie?
Seeing is not believing.
I think he would be like, this is ridiculous.
He'd hate it.
There is no such thing as DNA memory.
He'd hate it so much.
Actually, there is a concept of genetic memory that has been thrown around the scientific community for a couple of years.
Has there?
Yes.
To what extent? Like, is it actually that we can remember things from?
Not necessarily we can go back in time through our genetics, but that there are certain traits that get. It's an evolution of what are traits that are passed down from different,
instinct as opposed like.
Okay.
Why do we have those certain instincts? Because it relates to a type of genetic memory.
Yes.
Everybody look it up. It's fun.
In that sense, yes, there is that kind of.
Yeah. I guess
memory.
Neil deGrasse Tyson always gives me the energy of being a big grump. He's a person who tweets every year on New Year's saying, the calendar's made up and astrologically this date has no significance. And we all say, cool, man, I guess you're right. Awesome. I think he'd hate this film.
I think that's a safe bet. But in terms of science, I think he would also hate it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Except for the concept of, again, just like the spark of evolution and that question of like, when did intelligence begin?
Yeah.
And the idea of a civilization, like some outside control kickstarting it, is a theory that even that scientists even believe is very much possible.
Oh yeah, the catalyst, what begins it, what makes
started
it,
life. It could have been a small metallic ball with a green mist power that got dropped onto the earth.
It's quite literally our favorite things to think about as human beings. We love it so much.
I would love to see another one of these.
Oh yeah.
Was my takeaway. It's like I want the next one. Sky Patterson in the chat is saying like they want to see the extended cut, which is that I don't know if that's real, But if it's 40 more minutes of those chase sequences,
that's
I'll
what
watch
it would have to be. Yeah.
I would 100% watch it.
As late as the red carpet for this film, supposedly pre-production had already begun on the second movie. Yes. No word yet on whether the box office has affected it, but I think Ubisoft has a much of a nest egg, and this hit their market so strongly that they would go forward with it, and I really hope they do.
Yeah, I mean, it only made so far about $53 million.
Budget was 120.
Yeah, not a great number, but that's just domestic. It made another 130 overseas. Video game movies do play better overseas. So it has made its budget back when you take into account foreign, whether it's gotten like all the other expenses around it back.
Yeah.
But either way, I think just in terms of this is a video game advertisement, worth it.
Yeah.
As we wrap out, I want to thank Connor
of course,
for coming in.
Thank you so much
you.
for having me.
What do you think Jesse would have to say about our review today?
I'd probably say, I liked it. It was good. I don't have a Jesse Klein. There's no way or form or sense do I have a good Jesse Klein impression.
I want to challenge our audience to send your Jesse Klein impersonations.
Please, everybody, mail us in your Jesse Klein impressions.
Just tweet him. Let him know that you're thinking of. Tell him how you hope he feels better.
Yes.
And join us for more sci-fi next week. I don't know yet what we'll be talking about. Oh, no, next week. I do know what we're talking about. Next week, we're going to be doing a 2017 preview to help us figure out what it is we're going to be talking about for the rest of 2017. There's a lot of great movies coming out, especially in the comic book realm, in the indie comic book realm. There's a lot of great TV shows. So we're going to take a look ahead and see what is scheduled to come down the pipeline. And that'll be next week's show. And then look for iBoy. The following week.
In theaters, no, at your home soon.
On Netflix. Connor?
Yep.
Where can people find you? I believe...
you're in the greater metropolitan Los Angeles area. Please check out the Pack Theater the fourth Wednesday of every month to see funny sketch comedy by Dandy. That's about it for me.
Mark Donica. Our computer turned real boy for the day. Where can everyone keep up with you?
You can find me on Twitter at @MarkBDonica. You can also watch Video Game Movie Anatomy if you want more on Assassin's Creed. We reviewed it right after the Christmas holiday, before the New Year. And then join us for tomorrow when we're going to be covering Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. Also, join me for Jedi Alliance Sundays at 7 p.m. Back to you, Zach.
All right, guys. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @ThatZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. A whole bunch of places you can find me on this network or on our sister network, AfterBuzz. But my plug for you this week, I have a comic book that just came out with my writing partner, Greg Goodness.
Yay.
It's called Kid Cop. You can find it on Comixology. It's very violent.
It's very violent.
It makes this film look like a Disney movie. But it's short, it's quick, it's 99 cents. So look for Kid Cop on Comixology or find the link on my Twitter profile. So guys, until next week, this has been Sci-Fi Weekly, the show where we're only one lab coat away from being real scientists.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.